Are you one of those people that question the meaning of life? Maybe more spiritually inclined, philosophically inclined? I'm definitely one of those people. I experienced loss of somebody very close to me at the age of 16. And what was a part of my grief process was, and part of this was my mom too. She had ordered one of Raymond Moody's books about, life after death, people's accounts of near death experiences. And so when my brother died when I was 16, naturally she was experiencing the worst grief that a person can experience, the loss of a child. And so that also made me curious about learning more about what happens after we die. I think some people are maybe just more inclined to think that way. Um, and so over the years, a part of my spiritual process has been really just something that I've been interested in is people's accounts of near death experiences, and easily in the hundreds, if not thousands, of different stories that I've read, and then personal accounts on like YouTube and stuff. And I think that if so, I've had a number of different videos in the past where I've talked about this because it's something that I'm really interested in, and I'm actually really surprised that there's a fair amount of people who aren't that interested in it. Because don't you want to know like what happens after we die? I think that there's people who really do believe that boop, that's it, just like a candle blowing out, your consciousness is gone. Based on the law of thermodynamics, I'm not that smart as far as science goes, but I know that it wouldn't make sense from that standpoint that we would just fizzle out and our consciousness would cease to exist. It seems more likely that we would maybe transition to a different form or something like that. But what I want to say, based on the hundreds, if not thousands, I'm not even exaggerating, of near-death experience accounts. So with the advancements in medicine, resuscitation is more common. So near-death accounts are actually relatively common. I think a lot of people don't talk about it because they're afraid that they'll be seen as crazy. But of the people who do, I mean, there's a number of accounts where there is witnesses verifying specific statements that were made while the individual was flatlined, deceased, should not have any kind of awareness. That individual saying that they were actually outside of their body, looking at their body, witnessing individuals saying these specific things that are later validated. It is not uncommon for those types of situations to happen with these people who've had these near-death experiences. How do you explain that? You know? And then there's other weird medical anomalies that happen, like cancer disappearing after somebody comes back. People being able to describe in detail what happened to their body as they were dying, saying that they saw it from a distance, where medically they should not have had any kind of awareness. So you could call that proof. I don't know, maybe a more abstract kind of a proof, but I mean, how do you, all these different people saying these things and having these situations verified is pretty striking, I think. Um, so I think it gives me hope, because the idea that we just fizzle out and cease to exist, one, it doesn't resonate with me as truth. Two, that's super depressing. The idea that it would like this one experience is it, and then just like bye, bitch. I don't know. I don't like that idea very much. Um, you know, being the type of person that doesn't fit into the norm, this cookie cutter idea of what we're supposed to be in Western society. I have questioned my sanity on stuff, and continue to do so, questioning my perspectives, wondering like, when you don't fit in, I think it's probably a natural reaction to think that way. Like, am I the one who's nuts over here? Because I don't know. But when I hear these accounts, um, uh, people having these spiritual accounts, these spiritual experiences after they die. Beautiful, wonderful, like God, this loving, beautiful being. And they get taught, all of them come back with this same kind of concept. We're not supposed to be mean to each other. We're not supposed to be judging each other. We're supposed to be loving and accepting everyone. Of course, you need to have boundaries and that sort of a thing in your life experience. But basically, there are certain people following interpretations of religion that are rigid, harsh, and critical of others and condemnatory. And basically, the gist of these people coming back is always like, they're not quite getting that one right. They're missing the mark on that one. And so I think that there are some really beautiful teachings hidden within these different religions, and maybe not even hidden. Really, it's just about the interpretation of it. But any kind of behavior which comes out of religion that rejects and condemns any kind of group of people who are different isn't really what these people are saying. The people who've died and come back, who've gone over, and met with loved ones who've passed on. Sometimes it's God, sometimes it's different deities. The forms that God comes in are different for people depending on the situation, but basically the message is always the same: love, non-judgment. So to me, that's a really hopeful, beautiful message. And these people have such compelling stories that if you haven't delved into these different near-death accounts, I encourage you to do so. There are different people who have different interpretations. The vast, 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 vast majority that I've come across, basically, oh, hey, Chunks, sit down. He's such a good pitty. People have a bad perception of pitbulls sometimes, but he's the sweetest. Anyway, he's also very stinky. The vast majority of the time, these encounters with the other side, it's love-based. There are a really small percentage of people who have a negative experience, but it sounds like there's like different realms of experience. And I think that the non-physical is actually much more interesting and vibrant and teeming with different types of life and experiences than we can even imagine. So some people do have experiences with what you could call lower realms, darker beings, darker entities, but that's a super small percentage of the people. And at the end of the day, it sounds like it's less to do with like this biblical idea of hell, as you do that, you don't follow these and you go to hell, and you do this and you go to heaven. It's not quite that simple. It sounds like belief systems and structures have more to do with that than whether you're a good person or not. Because some of these people who have these experiences are good people. But it sounds like we need to maybe be more careful about the beliefs that we have, because maybe it's like you resonate with certain listen, what I'm saying, I realize it sounds nuts, but this is kind of what I'm thinking, is you resonate with certain frequencies and certain experiences. And if you're having a lot of negative beliefs about yourself and others, you're going to resonate maybe and temporarily be a match to a certain negative experience when you leave your body. But it does sound like this is the case. If you pray, if you find yourself in an experience like that when you leave the body, when you die or whatever, what these people are saying is, if you pray, if you ask for help from Jesus, God help me, then you will get that help to help you maybe realign your energy to a different kind of non-physical experience. This is just based off of the accounts that I've heard, the many, 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 many different accounts that I've heard. So, really kind of to sum this up, what I want to say is there's enough evidence out there to suggest very strongly that this experience is not our only experience, that the nature of God is love, acceptance, and non-judgment. Unconditional love, a kind of love that we humans don't even understand in this experience. And striving toward that love, acceptance, and non-judgment is the gist of this life. And that there are good things within religion, but maybe be willing to question those structures and those authority figures who are preaching anything other than love and acceptance. So I'm gonna leave it at that. It's finally 66 degrees. I love sweater weather. It was so hot. Like it was like 90 degrees up until yesterday, and that is not normal for Minnesota in the fall. But so I'm gonna go enjoy this beautiful day, and I hope you do as well. Bye for now.